It's your boy KD, man. Thank you for tuning in. You're now witnessing my journey in music. Let's go. Man, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an official Grady baby. I resided in Kirkwood. Actually lived all over the city a little bit, but Kirkwood was my home. Raised by my grandparents there, and it is what made me today. I don't know if there was really a worse thing about growing up in Kirkwood. Of course, I mean, we all lived in a poverty-stricken area, so you know what I mean. That's kind of normal for us. But I would say that we made the best of a bad situation. We all got together. You know what I mean. We played a lot of sports, stayed out of trouble. But I mean, I did kind of grow up, you know what I mean, a bad era of times where we kind of shedded that bad era and did the things that we needed to do to survive.
What was the best part about growing up?
Man, the best part was the family, the friends, the camaraderie, you know, how we stuck together. You know, days at the boys club, playing basketball, playing at the park, you know what I mean, just hanging out with the guys. You know, that was the thing that we did most. Heavily into sports. My sport of all sports was baseball, but of course I dabbled in basketball. I wasn't much of a football player, you know what I mean? I could get out there and mess around with the guys, but I didn't play football on any team level. But as far as most sports I played was basketball and baseball. Believe it or not, I played in the outfield, I played a little first base. Even in high school, as a lefty, which is odd, which means I've always been able to do great things. I played second base left-handed, you know what I mean? So that was one of the things, that was one of the highlights of my baseball career. Played second base left-handed. Man, I would say just hanging out with the fellas, man, like, you know, the things that we did, being at the boys club every day, you know what I mean, hanging out in the front yard, just riding bikes up and down the street, you know, just kicking it with the fellas. Like, that was the main thing that we did, that we had fun. Like, it was just a big camaraderie. It was a lot of us that hung out together, you know what I mean. We literally traveled from boys club to boys club, playing other teams, other boys clubs teams, and so we just got together, man. It was a camaraderie about me and all my friends. Man, I had a lot of memorable moments, man. I would say, you know what I mean, I grew up with a great family background. My grandparents were phenomenal. My mom, you know, she did take me on a lot of places. I say that, you know, out of many of the children at Kirkwood that didn't really have a chance to move around and do some of the things that I was able to do. But I mean, my mom took me on vacations every year. You know, going to the World's Fair in Tennessee, I would say. I mean, I moved around a lot as a kid. My dad, my stepfather, was actually the heads of parks and recreations for the city of Atlanta. So, you know, I got to move around a little bit and do a few things in the city that most people wouldn't be able to do.
So with you know, your father being, or your stepfather being part of the kind of parks and recreation, you would say you pretty much had a good childhood life, hanging out with the kids. It's just like a normal lifestyle. But what was different from your lifestyle compared to some of your friends that you grew up?
Well, I mean, even though I grew up in I would say a poverty-stricken neighborhood, my grandparents, you know, my grandfather was a retired postman, and my grandmother had retired from Avon. So, you know what I mean, I really didn't have the struggles that most of the people in my area had at the time. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, like, my house was an open house. Like, my grandparents were very loving and very caring to children all around. So everybody came to my house. Like, if it was food for me to eat, it was everybody could come in and eat. Like, it was never one of those things where, you know what I mean, they would never not look out for somebody that needed something in any means at all. So I would say I didn't necessarily have the same struggles, but all of my friends were able to come by the house and do everything that I did.
Real sense of community. How was that? Has that kind of helped kind of shape who you are today?
I mean, of course it did. You know what I mean? I'm a person that really likes to see other people win. Like, I understand that, you know, your winning is never gonna impede my success at all, because I'm only gonna get out of life what I put into it. So if I can do anything to help people, or, you know what I mean, or be of help or be of assistance to anybody in any way possible, if I can do it, I'm gonna try to do it. If I can't, I'll be honest with you and tell you that I can't, you know. Man, I'm really passionate about music. To be honest with you, that's one of the main things I'm passionate about. Like, I really enjoy being in the studio, and more the creation of music. Like, I'm a person that, to be honest with you, I have a love for quite a few artists, but I'm also a person that really loves just listening to instrumental music, listening to the instrumentation. You know what I mean? I like to listen to see how, you know, you're in the studio and something starts from just a drum beat or just a bass line from a song, and it becomes a full creation. So that's something that I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about my friends. I'm a Leo, so I'm probably passionate about everything that I do.
All right. You mentioned family. We kind of talked a little bit about family and your upbringing. Tell me a little bit about your immediate family and what they mean to you.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of my immediate family isn't here. I've already, you know what I mean, I've lost quite a few people in my life. You know what I mean, my mother, my grandparents, everybody that really were dear to my heart are no longer here with me, God rest their soul. I still have both of my uncles and my cousins, my mom's two brothers, so, you know what I mean, and I have children of my own, so they are the people that really mean the most to me. My children are really the reason why I do the things that I do at this point in time in my life. You know, one of the things that I sought out by doing this was, you know, it was hard for me to look my children in the face and tell them to chase their dreams when I had really stopped and given up on mine. So I really wanted to be in this position and doing the things that I'm doing right now to be able to lead by example. You know what I mean? Even if I fall short, which I don't think that I am, because I'm very confident in everything that I'm doing right now. But you know what I mean? My grandfather used to tell me a long time ago that nothing beats a failure but a try. Failure, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't even believe in failure anymore. You know what I mean? And even if you do fail, I believe that you should be failing forward, because nothing in life is gonna be perfect. So I do believe that anytime that you do something and it doesn't really come out the way that you want it to, there's a lesson to be learned in it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe, and I feel, listen, I am the king of failure, if that's the case. Like, I feel like that I haven't done anything right in my life, so, you know what I mean? But the fact that I'm still here, the fact that God still wakes me up and gives me an opportunity to be great, I just try to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to me. So, I mean, maybe I don't fail. Like, I guess I heard somebody say a long time, like, a man fails 7 times, but he gets up 8. You know, so failing to me is something that's a part of life. I've learned to take my failures along with my wins in the same grain. I don't know if there's necessarily a quote that I look at, because even when I do fail, like I said, and I don't really look at it as a failure. I just look at it as a learning experience, because there's something for me to learn out of it. I believe that you learn more out of your failures than you learn out of your wins. You know what I mean? Because there could have been something that you could have done different. There could have been something more that you could have learned, you know, to put yourself in a better position. And a lot of times, you know what I mean, that you end up failing, and I'll admit it to myself. You know, a lot of times you just didn't really put in enough work for you to get where you really wanted to be. Man, listen. My work ethic at this point in time is, I tell my son this, even though my son is 11 years old and he's playing basketball and he tells me he wants to be an NBA player, I tell him all the time, man, if you run from the work, you may as well run from the money. Because everything in life, nothing in life is going to be easy for you to get. You have to have hard work, you have to have commitment, you have to have determination. You know what I mean? You got to be consistent in what you do. You know what I mean? And if you choose not to do those things, then you can't expect to be rewarded for the work that you never put in. Man, I can say that my love for music came from quite a few places, man. My mom, my stepdad, my grandparents, just my family was very involved in music. My mom was a music major in college. She actually taught music in high school. My mom, I would tell you, my mom was a borderline genius. People would probably say that about their mom a lot, but my mom literally was a borderline genius. She literally could play every instrument known to man. You know what I mean? My stepfather was a well-known gospel singer, Benny Davis and the Davis Singers out of Atlanta at the time. He was also a radio DJ, a gospel radio DJ as I was growing up. You know what I mean? So my mom played for several churches as well. My grandmother was a very person that really taught me to like got me into the whole performing thing itself. You know what I mean? Performing Christmas songs at Christmas time. So I mean, I would say that I've already been doing music since I was 4 or 5 years old.
And it's based on kind of just being around your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I picked up instruments at an early age. My father had a church in Statesville, North Carolina, where I ended up being the drummer at a church at 11, 12 years old. Had never played before, just kind of picked it up on my own. I played some instruments in school, in elementary school. I actually played a clarinet and I played a trumpet. You know what I mean? So I kind of learned to read music a little bit, but I don't think that I really did it long enough to be able to do it. But I mean, and I even do it now. Like I actually bought a bass guitar just to kind of pick up and kind of learn how to play the bass on my own. I even started producing music. Shout out to my boy Floaty, OG Floaty, part of the Attic Crew. I remember one time that I was looking at, I was telling him, having a conversation with him, like, man, I can't get people to produce the music that I really want. And he said, man, sometimes, when you want something that you want done, like, you got to do it yourself. And I literally went out and bought a keyboard and started banging on it, until I could get myself into production. You know what I mean? So I kind of learned on the fly. But, you know what I mean? Sometimes being self-taught and learning it that way is the best way to be. So I could say I kind of play things by ear. My love for music, man, is I just love what music does to a person's emotions. Like, it doesn't matter what emotion that you're feeling. Music has a way to tap it into that. Like, if you're angry, there's a song for it. If you are in love, there's a song for it. If you're sad, there's a song for it. So I just like, my love for music comes from what it can do to people's emotion, how you can change a person's life just by hearing a song. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's one of my greatest loves about music. Man, I have quite a few memories of making music, and some of this is probably going to date me and tell you how old I am, but I've been in this thing, man, for a long time, since I was a teenager. And of course, I hopefully don't look as old as I am, but like, I've had some very memorable moments. I've been around some legends in the game of music. Just to name a few, I've been around P. Diddy, I've been around Dre, been around L.A. Reid, Russell Simmons. I've been around quite a few legends in the music, so for me to pick one moment would be pretty difficult, but I would have to say, just to give y'all a short story on this, like my interaction with P. Diddy. We were at a music conference in New Orleans, and literally we met him in a lobby of a hotel for us to sing. And the funny thing of it is, he heard us singing and he wanted to hear more of us singing, so he invited us to his room. The funny thing about this story was, at that time we walked into his room in order to sing for him. And literally we are singing, standing while he's laying in the bed, and we standing at the foot of his bed singing. So that was probably a crazy memory that I had. But like, I've done quite a few things, man. Like, I've sung live at Russell Simmons' birthday party. I've recorded at legend Stacy Lattisaur's house. Met Andre Harrell. I've sung live on radio stations prior to now. So, and these are all things that I've done prior to me ever releasing my first single. So, you know what I mean? I've had quite a few moments in music. My core values, I would say, man, like, believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Nothing that you will ever be able to do will be able to start if you don't believe that you can do it. You know what I mean? So from a core value standpoint, man, I just think that I believe in myself. I believe that God has blessed me with a talent to share with the world. And it started with me believing in myself for me to even be sitting here in this moment. You know what I mean? And I talk to people a lot about this type of situation, but like, believing is a huge tool for me, because if you think about everything that we do on a normal basis right now, started off as a thought in someone's head and they just believed that they could do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I really live by, you know what I mean? Is just believing in myself and believing that I can do the things that I'm destined to do. I don't even know if I really have a style. I don't know if I could really compare myself to anyone else. I'm a super lover of 90s R&B, 80s R&B, and 70s R&B. I love music of today as well. But I mean, I can't say that I really have a style. You know what I mean? I feel like my style is actually unique. I don't know if I really can be compared to anybody that's out there right now. Right now, we're looking at releasing the single Questions, man. I gotta tell y'all, it's been great, a great situation working. Just to give you an idea of how this all got started, like, I literally had no desire to be in music right now. I really started this situation helping a friend of mine manage a group, and you know, we kind of got disgruntled as far as the group was concerned, and I was still trying to help the guys move along. And I honestly felt like, you know, because I was a person that was coming in separately outside of, you know, what was going on, that they didn't really believe in me. So I felt like, you know what I mean, I still had the energy and the know-how to be able to do this thing in music. So I felt like I could show them better than I could tell them. So I started working through the process of getting music and thinking about how I wanted to do it. I ran into a great writer. His name is Go-To Writes out of Atlanta, Georgia, who's been helping me with the project. A lot of the songs are produced by a wonderful producer, Tone Jones. So we're gonna keep working and keep going until we're able to give you the project that I feel most comfortable with. You know what I mean? And right now, the project is going amazing. We're looking at releasing our first single, Questions, on February 11th. So we want you all to stay tuned and hope that you love the music.
Now, you're a solo artist, correct?
Yes, I am. Solo artist.
Have you always been a solo artist?
No, I haven't. Actually, I used to be in a group. Again, I don't want to date myself at the moment, but I used to be part of a group called New Jail. Shout out to all my boys, Reggie, you know what I mean, Haywood, Keith, Jacques, Terry, you know what I mean, like, they were some wonderful guys, man. We shared some moments together that will always stay with me forever. You know what I mean? I really appreciate them, because if it wasn't for them, I probably would never be singing. Like, they literally had a singing group prior to me, and they were just my buddies, and I was hanging out. But like, they literally put me in the group with them, and I started singing, and I was bit by the bug, man. I'll never forget it. Like, we did our first real talent show at University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And man, once we walked off of that stage to that fanfare, I was hooked. I want to say I was 18 years old at Barber Scotia College. I joined a singing group with a couple of my buddies, a couple of my roommates, and man, I got bit by the bug, man. I never really thought that I wanted to sing, but I was just hanging out with some guys that sang all the time, and you know, I started singing with them. I'm like, man, you could really carry a note, and I was like, cool, you know what I mean? So I started singing with them, you know. Got into doing a lot of backgrounds with them because they already had lead singers, but you know, being bit by the bug, I believe that that's where my work ethic with it started coming in, because I'll never forget, like, we did a talent show right before Christmas break, and I felt like I was a background singer, but literally I felt so good about singing that I went home to my grandmother's house over the Christmas break, and literally I would practice for 2 hours a day on my own. You know what I mean? Getting my vocals right, trying to be ready for the next time we had a talent show so that I could shine. So I mean, we went from there, and literally in a 6-month period, man, we were traveling up and down the East Coast doing shows everywhere from Miami to Virginia, North Carolina. We met Uncle Luke at that time, you know what I mean, at 18 years old, you know what I mean? So, I mean, we were actually doing shows everywhere up and down the East Coast. I would have to say I have quite a few key figures, man, but like I've talked about the fellas that I was in a group with because they were phenomenal for taking me in. One of the guys I really would like to thank is my boy Lamar Robinson Gooch, man. He was the one that got us in the studio for the first time. You know what I mean? That gave us an opportunity. And one other person that I really wanted to thank was a gentleman by the name of Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell, I met at the time that I was living in DC. He was the one that actually took me to sing at Russell Simmons' birthday party. But he never knew how important that he really was to me, because he was the first person, as we were recording the song, that saw me as a lead singer. You know, and I really put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. And he had brought producers over from London to work with us. And literally, like, he was looking at me and listening to me singing and saying, "Hey, I want you to be the lead on this song." Like, he literally told me at one point in time that he wanted to turn me into the male Mary J. Blige. And honestly, that's probably the arena that I'm going in right now. If I could tell my old self anything, what would it be? I really would say, just get to work, man. Get to work. You know what I mean? Keep your head down and keep swinging. You know what I mean? Because I can't lie, like I really got disgruntled as a youngster, you know, attacking this music thing because things weren't absolutely going the way that I wanted it to. But you have to realize at the same time that the only person that really can change your situation is you. So if you just continue to work, you know what I mean, it's going to be good. And I think I live by this motto, like, once you find your purpose in life, as long as you know the destination in which you're going, it doesn't matter whether you walk, whether you crawl, whether you got to drag yourself. But as long as you're moving forward in that direction, eventually you're going to get there. Man, I just appreciate everybody for coming, man. I appreciate everybody that's been supportive of everything that I'm doing right now. You know, we dropping this single February 11th. It's a big moment. You know what I mean? So I hope you all go out. You know what I mean? You'll be able to find it on all platforms. February 11th. The song again is called Questions. Written by Go-To Rice. Produced by Tone Jones. I'm telling you, man, I hope that we getting ready to try to change the music game. We getting ready to try to bring some real R&B back. You know what I mean? We want to bring a whole different sound that's different, that's going on, that's different than right now. So I hope everybody loves what we're doing. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to follow me on all social platforms. I am _KD on Instagram, on Twitter. And also on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Believe it or not, though. But yeah, follow me on all social platforms. _KD. Just follow me. You're gonna see more of the music. Like, I actually also, because I'm a proponent of a person that really wants to see everybody win, I try to start my day with a positive message, and I usually leave positive messages on my Instagram page every morning. So, you know, follow me there. If you need inspiration, if you need motivation, or if you need uplifting, you can always find me there doing that as well outside of music. So feel free to follow me on all social networks. Again, you can follow me, _KD. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well.
Say it again, say it all slower.
Okay, you can follow me on all social networks. It's _KD. That's YOUKNOWKD. You can follow me there, all social networks.